First thing to note, I had no problem pairing my phone, it did it straight away. I do prefer the infotainment system on this Mercedes, to tell you the truth. Once again, we don't have physical controls for the climate, but it is just better placed and bigger and easier to use. I also prefer the digital driver's display than the BMWs, it's just less confusing. The price of this car for the EQE 300, which is the entry-level model, almost £69,000. Now, to make things a little bit confusing, this car is no longer available to buy. It's been replaced by a new entry-level car, which is the 350 Plus, which will have about 50 miles extra range. I'm not driving it because Mercedes don't have any on their press fleet yet, but the way it drives should be very, very similar. At this price, there are no options on the car. You just get it as is with all the kit that you see here, so it's not super expensive like that BMW. One thing you don't have though is adaptive dampers, so you've got normal steel springs. The ride is actually quite good. Not quite as good as the BMW, but I think the main reason for that is that this car weighs in at a colossal 2.5 tons, and that affects the performance. You've got 245 horsepower from a single rear drive motor. Combine that with the car's weight, 0 to 62 miles an hour takes 7.3 seconds. You know, it's not slow, but it's not particularly quick. Not as quick as you'd expect from an electric car. Now, one thing I'm noticing driving this along compared to the BMW is that it's noticeably less road noise. That was one thing that did let the BMW down. Having this aerodynamic shape, which looks pretty blooming ugly, does work in terms of interior comfort. Speaking of the interior, I do like the design, that it's wraparound effect, and I like some of the materials like this. Now, you can get this car with this thing called a hyper screen, which basically spreads across the entire dash. That looks kind of cool, but without it, that just looks a bit nasty, which they've tried to detail a bit with Mercedes stars. Some places the quality is a little bit shonky, like here and down here. At least the indicator doesn't feel so cheap as in the BMW.